Okay, so what's up YouTube? Just gonna make a quick video. I get a lot of requests for making like a kind of general strategy guide or something like that. Just gonna show you my deck today and try and explain why I pick certain units, what I use them for, and all that kind of stuff. If there's anything that you don't understand, just leave a comment and I'll try and explain it as best as I can. Anyway, just show you my deck first. So I have the Slug Copter, Samurai Planes, the Snail, the Samurai Tank, Iron ISO, Clark, Giant Caterpillar, Elephant Slug, Morden, and the Jupiter King. So just try and explain the different good points and bad points of the different units. So first, the Slug Copter. Okay, so this build's very slow. The AP is very high, as you can see. It's 270. It's got a long range. The good thing about this unit is that the enemy can't actually attack this unit, so they don't get any AP AP boosts from this unit, so they can't kill it, so they don't get an AP boost. But other than that, the bad point is that it costs 270. It shoots about, I think, three rounds before it disappears, so it's not highly recommended, but I like this unit anyway. The other unit that I use, Iron ISO, I think in the recent update this was actually buffed quite a lot. It builds a lot faster now, and of course it's got a very long range. It's only 140 to build. Usually if you can hide this behind other units, then it's got a good firepower, and of course it's very long, so it can shoot a lot of enemies. It ignores the enemy as well, so it goes through multiple enemies, so it's a pretty good unit. I think it's only about 30 or 40 medals as well, so it's a very cheap unit to buy in the shop. Okay, so Big Snail. This one is actually got buffed in this update as well, so it's only 100 to build. It says that its production is normal, but I think it builds very quickly. This one, good attack power, hits multiple units. I think its attack range is about 1 or 2 centimeters on the screen of the iPad, so it says that it's short, but it does actually hit from quite a distance away. And then its special attack is it's a shield as well, so it works as a defensive unit and as an offensive unit. So I think it's a very good unit in this particular version. I've heard that they've nerfed it in the most recent Android update, so I'm not sure how good it is in the new update. It might not be very good anymore, so just for this particular version, this unit is very good. I think I've said in one of my videos already that this is pretty much the new Trevor, but I think it's actually better than Trevor. What else do I use? Oh, Giant Caterpillar. So this moves very slowly, production is very slow, spread is long, and the special attack is long. So the good thing about this unit is that it can move you forward very easily. Its special attack sort of like slides across the screen. One thing that I have noticed that a lot of players don't know about is that usually if you have 2 giant caterpillars on a screen, and then one charges forward. If you do your special attack and charge forward, you'll kill him, if that makes sense. So always try to bait the person to charge first. So when you actually charge, you'll charge through him. I think the charge does quite a lot of damage. So one thing to keep in mind when you use this unit. Very good offensive unit, very good defensive unit. Always good for blocking metal slug attacks as well. Very good unit anyway. What else? Okay, so samurai tanks. So this is a very cheap unit to build. Long spread, long special attacks. Very strong, I think. Again, it says that its production is slow, but I think it builds pretty fast. I think it builds at a very decent speed. Good HP as well, so it can withstand quite a bit of attacks. Okay, so Clark. So Clark's got a long attack. His special attack is also long. I think one thing that people ask me is which is better between Ralph and Clark. And I think if you compare the two, because Clark's got a longer attack, it makes him slightly better, because he can always hide behind other units, because of course his HP is only 2400. So it's decent, but not particularly great. So it's always sort of worth hiding the human units behind other units. And I think the problem with Ralph is that his special attack moves him forward, so that always gets him killed, I think. So out of the two, I always recommend Clark. What else? Okay, so the elephant slug. So this has pretty high HP, long attack, very long special attack. So the good thing about this unit is that, I mean, this has always been used as kind of as a counter to Jupiter King, because its special attack is very long. It'll always push back the Jupiter King. So I always keep this just in case the opponent is using Jupiter King. So this is always a good unit to have, just as a kind of backup. And of course, yeah, as I said, its HP is very high, so it lasts very long. Sorry. Okay, so Morden, very high HP, slow build, very expensive to build. So the good thing about his special attack, I think most people should know, is that it does a full screen attack. So I think it calls like some kind of, what do you call it? Like some kind of airplane, and that drops bombs all over the screen. So the good thing about that, of course, is that it attacks the enemy base even if you're at the other side of the screen. So usually worth having more than. Who else? Okay, and samurai planes. So samurai planes, also it's not a particularly great unit. The reason why I have it on my deck is like Morden special attack. It does like a full screen sweep. So in some matches when you play against another player, that's it results in a kind of deadlock where you're not moving forward and the opponent's not moving forward either, so you're kind of stuck in the middle of the screen, just constantly attacking each other. And in that case where you've got Morden and they've got Morden, and they're doing the full screen attack, you're doing their full screen attack, the good thing about this particular unit, because it does a full screen sweep, it also does damage on the opponent's base. So it's not a great deal of damage, but it's kind of enough where if the opponent doesn't have samurai planes, and you're both doing more than special attack each way, you'll usually win just because you're shooting this all the time and you're getting just like a tiny fraction of damage each time on their base. So I always usually try and keep this in my deck, at least for this version anyway. So I think that's about it for my deck. You can just see it again there. So of course the Samurai Planes is glitched, so it's always showing the soldier instead. Just want to go over quickly some of the old units that I used, that I do like, but I just don't use them anymore. I think I didn't explain about the Jupiter King, but you don't really need to. It's overpowered, stupid unit. So I think in the past I used Trevor. So Trevor was really good in the old version because he would shoot very quickly and you would take out just pretty much most units because his attack speed was so fast. In this version they've slowed him down, so I think he shoots one round, pauses for about a second or two, and then he shoots again. So he's not a particularly bad unit, just not as good as the giant snail in this version. But he's got a good HP, so he's still a fairly good unit, but just as I said, not as good as the snail unit. What else did I used to use? Okay, so Alan O'Neill. I used to use Alan O'Neill, but I replaced him with, I think, Slug Copter. So his AP it costs quite a high amount of AP to build him, which is probably one of the reasons why I took him off. I mean, Alan O'Neill he's got a good attack. His attacks are very strong. He's got a fair bit of HP at 7,000, so he lasts for a while. But the reason I took him off it and replaced him with Slugcopter is because, of course, once he dies, the enemy gets a good amount of AP from killing him. So I just decided just to replace him. I still think he's a good unit though, and of course he's unlocked for free, so worth using, of course. The Metal Claw, used to use this quite a lot. Once I got the snail I stopped using it. Reason for that is because of course its AP is higher than its AP build is higher than the snail, and it's a slow production speed. But the good thing about this one is that it's good as a defensive unit, and of course it attacks. It's a good amount of HP at 6,000. So it was a good unit, but I think if you compare it to the snail, it's not as good, I think. Okay, so Decocker. So I used to use this quite a lot, but once I got the Samurai Tanks, there was kind of no point in using this anymore. Samurai Tanks is just better in every way. It's pretty much the same kind of unit, but Samurai Tanks costs I think 80, this one costs 100, and Samurai Tanks has a higher HP, so same kind of unit but a lot weaker. So as soon as you can get the Samurai Tanks, don't bother with this one anymore. Hyakutaro. So I used to use this quite a lot. I think it was quite popular for a while because it's got a very long attack range. The only problem is that his HP is 640, so as soon as anything big comes on the screen, he's pretty much dead, so don't tend to use him very much anymore. Sorry. I think that's it. Maybe. So I think that's it. If you've got any questions, of course, please feel free to leave a comment. Always quite happy to answer any questions. But when I update my new deck again, I'll probably make another video. Thanks for watching anyway.